South Aiken family, good afternoon, good evening. I'm not exactly sure what time you're watching this presentation, but I want to make sure I did greet you all and say welcome back for the spring of the 2024-25 school year. We have gotten 90 days down. We've got 90 more to go. So I wanted to make sure I came to you all and discussed some policy changes, make sure we all reiterated some things that are important, some things that are vital, to make sure that we are all marching to the same beat as we move forward and try to finish out this school year. So without much further ado, I'm going to share my presentation with you all so that we can move forward. Now, once again, welcome back. And as we talk about all the time, our motto here at South Aiken High School is every thoroughbred, every day, all means all. You are all important, you are all valuable, and we want to make sure everybody, once again, is marching to the same beat. Everybody should be trying to be as close as possible to being in lockstep to ensure smoothness, to ensure consistency, and to make sure things are going well. Now, we talked about this at the beginning of the year. At South Aiken, we prioritize our Power Five. And what are our Power Five again? First is safety and security. Our number one priority is the safety and security of the entire South Aiken family. That includes our students, our faculty, our staff, and we want to make sure that we are putting things in place and operating in a manner that ensures that safety and security is paramount and that we are trying to do things day in and day out to ensure a safe, secure environment at South Aiken High School. It is a big deal. It's a big ask. We have 1,300 plus students, 100 plus faculty and staff members. That's a lot of people that we have to maintain the safety and security of, but we all have a role to play in that safety and security, and we want to make sure that is our number one priority. Next is student learning. Before, like I said, safety and security is number one, and before we can ever make sure that somebody is learning, we got to make sure they're safe and secure. But after we've done that, student learning is number two. And we capitalize and underline learning because that's what we want. That's what we're here for. We want to see you all learning, growing, thriving, improving to where you can experience post-secondary success after high school. So your student learning is important, and we want to make sure that we are doing things on a day in, day out basis to ensure that you are doing that. And we want to make sure that we are collaborative partners in that process. Number three is advisory enhancement. We want to make sure that we're that trusted adults, and those trusted adults in your lives and in your school setting, that when you ask us questions, we can have great conversations about what is best for you and how we can help you reach and achieve your goals. So advisory enhancement is number three, and that's part of what we do on Thursdays is helping provide those resources, those conversations, those answers to those questions that could help you achieve your goals after high school. Number four is positive relationships. We want to have positive relationships between from student to student, student to teacher, teacher to teacher, administrator to teacher, administrator to student, administrator to family, students to families. We want to have positive relationships inside and out. The way we treat each other is important, and we got to make sure that we are building upon and utilizing positive relationships for the benefit of each and every individual here at South Aiken High School. And last is high expectations. We have high expectations for you. Hopefully, you have high expectations for us, and we want to make sure we are meeting those expectations. You've got to have goals in life, and we have goals as a school, and part of that is high expectations, and we want to make sure we're meeting those goals on a day in, day out basis. And you should be setting goals for yourself as well so that you have something to shoot for and something that you're reaching for to make sure that, again, that you're experiencing that post-secondary success and also success here at South Aiken High School. Now, moving on, we talked about this multiple times in this fall, but we want to make sure we go in depth with again here on during our e-learning day, and also as we move forward into the second semester, the South Aiken electronic device policy. Now, what does that South Aiken electronic device policy include? It includes cell phones, smartwatches, earbuds, iPods, uh, AirPods, headphones, Beats, etc. All of those things are included in the electronic device policy. So once again, cell phones, smartwatches, earbuds, AirPods, headphones, Beats, all those electronic devices that can be used for paging, that can be used for hear sound, all of them are included in the electronic device policy. And what does that policy talk about? It talks about you need to have those devices turned off, placed out of sight, and not or, and not in use. Okay? Turned off, placed out of sight, and not in use. So what do we mean by not out of, what do we mean by placed out of sight? Turned off and not in use are pretty clear. But what do we mean by placed out of sight? All right. Not it should be in the safest bet for you is to take it and place it in your book bag. All right. That's your safest bet is to take it and place it in your book bag. But one thing I'm not going to do, one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to be the phone police to where we're searching to see if it's in your back pocket. If it can be seen. So let's say you got a pair of jeans and you say, oh, let me put my phone in my back pocket and we see the phone camera sticking out of it. Yes or no? Is it out of sight? The answer is no. So you are in violation of the policy. Okay. Now, let's say you got a thick, heavy jacket. All right. And we can't see it and it's out of sight. It's turned off and not in use. And it's sitting there. You haven't touched it. It's sitting in a thick hip pocket, something like that. Again, I'm not going to come with a metal detector and a wand to come wave and see if it's in there. But if we see it, because again, it's supposed to be out of sight. If we see it, then you're in violation of that policy. All right? Because I know some people will try and see how they can maneuver around that. Well, hey, I put it here or I put it there or did something of that nature. The easiest and safest bet is to put it in your book bag, turned off, so that way you're not using it. If you try to maneuver around it, do not be upset when you get caught and you say, well, I just had it here. I just had it in my hoodie. I just had it here. I just had it in my back pocket. And you say, well, that shouldn't be. I'm telling you now, the safest bet is to put it in your book bag. You do anything else other than that, all right, and it's not turned off and it's in use, again, it's going to be in violation of the policy. So take the safest bet in that regard. And this applies from 7:45 until 3:30. Once again, once you step inside these doors, this cell phone policy, this electronic device policy applies from 7:45 until 3:30. That's the 7:45 bell until the dismissal bell. Now, some of you say, well, why are we doing this here at South Aiken? It is not just South Aiken. Aiken County Public School District Board Policy, JICJ, was implemented, and it is in compliance with South Carolina House Bill 3293, and is to amend South Carolina State Law 59-63-280. So this is a statewide initiative that was implemented in the South Carolina legislature, which Aiken County Public School District School Board adopted policy in alignment with that bill and with alignment with that law, and South Aiken is instituting it here as well. Now, so what does it look like going forward in regards to how is that policy going to be put into practice? Okay. First, let's give you some examples. A student is violating South Aiken High School, Aiken County Public School District electronic device policy, meaning the cell phone is either not turned off, it's either not in sight. I mean, is in sight, we can see it, or somebody's using it. Okay, it could be any of those three things. So they're violating the South Aiken High School and Aiken County Public School District electronic device policy. That includes AirPods, earbuds, headphones, all those things. And a teacher and or administrator informs the student they are in violation of the electronic device policy. We inform you, we say, hey, little Sam Fuller, you are in violation of the South Aiken High School electronic device policy. And then we're going to, and so basically at that point, we ask you to turn off the device and put it away. And then you take that device and you put it away. That means you follow the instructions. Then a referral is entered for a cell phone violation, which is code 330. Now you may say, well, I turned it off or I put it away. Why is the referral entered? Because you are in violation of policy. And because you're in violation of policy, a referral is going to be entered. So that's what we talked about before. At 7:45, when you walk in the door, make sure that device is turned off, put out of sight, and not in use. So if you don't, if those things aren't in place, once again, an administrator or a teacher will tell you it is a violation of electronic device policy. They're going to ask you to turn the device off and put it away. And even if you follow those instructions, a referral will still be entered for cell phone violation. Now, what about, okay, what are the consequences for those cell phone violation referrals? Okay, so again, you violated the code of conduct by and you got a cell phone violation. Okay, the first offense is up to 1 day of in-school suspension. Now, it can be a verbal warning, it can be a lunch detention, it can be a half day of ISS, it can be a full day of ISS. It is up to 1 day of in-school suspension for the first offense. The administrator will also ensure that they remind you of the policy, and future violations could result in ISS or OSS. They're going to make sure when that referral is being processed, we're going to make sure we remind you of the cell phone policy, our electronic device policy, and what future violations could incur. The second offense is 1 to 3 days of in-school suspension. Okay, it could be 1 day, could be 2 days, could be 3 days. For the second offense of the cell phone or the electronic device policy. And again, we've gone over that before, and we make sure that as an administrator, we process the first one, we've gone over what that consequence could be. The third offense is up to 3 days of out-of-school suspension and a behavior contract. Now we get to OSS, and we're going to also put something in writing saying that, hey, sign here, saying that we have gone over this with you, and you know that you are violating the Aiken County Public School District and the South Aiken High School electronic device policy. And if you keep violating it, we can possibly do this, this, and this. And then subsequent offenses, again, we're going to follow the consequences outlined in the behavior contract, which we've gone over in writing with you, and it may be considered a refusal to obey, and a referral could be put in for Code 270. Now, what about if the policy and practice, what does that look like if a student refuses to adhere to the electronic device policy? So let's say the student has been asked to turn their device off and put it away, and they do not follow instructions. All right. So got a cell phone, got an AirPods, whatever. Okay. And I say, hey, turn that off, put it away. And you keep typing on it. You keep sending your text message. I'm talking to my mom. I need to finish this conversation. Okay. Now it goes into a refusal to obey. Or if let's say that you have gotten 3 cell phone violation referrals, and now we're on your 4th. Okay. So now it can be considered refusal to obey. So referral may be entered a refusal to obey, which is Code 270. And I want to remind you all, refusal to obey is a suspension level offense. Okay. Refusal to obey in the code of conduct is a suspension level offense. And we once again don't want you getting suspended for violating the electronic device policy, but just know that can be coming with the continued violations of the cell phone device policy, or if you choose not to follow instructions. Now, I'm gonna go back to this again. Okay, that can once again can be a refusal to obey referral. So I'm gonna hit this over one more time. And I know some of you are probably sitting there saying, well, I've heard it, but it doesn't hurt to just repeat things. Now, once again, electronic device policy, okay, includes cell phones, smartwatches, earbuds, AirPods, headphones, Beats, etc. Policy states that the electronic device must be turned off, placed out of sight, and not in use. Having an AirPod in your ear and not listening to it is a violation of policy. Having headphones around your neck is a violation of policy. Okay. If it's hanging on your book bag, it is a violation of the policy because, again, placed out of sight, not in use, turned off. These are not or requirements, these are and. Turned off and placed out of sight and not in use. And once again, it applies from 7:45 until 3:30. And once again, this is in compliance with state law and Aiken County Public School District Board policy. Okay. Once again, a violation of the electronic device policy. Okay. Teacher administrator will let you know that you're in violation of the policy. Will ask you to turn the device off and put it away. And if you follow instructions, this is just going to be a referral for a cell phone violation. But if you get that referral for that cell phone violation, it's not saying, hey, we put it up and we move it along. There is no referral enter. Then, if there's a consequence, the first offense up to 1 day of in-school suspension, and then you're reminded by that administrator that you're in violation of the electronic device policy, and it could result in ISS or OSS in the future. Second offense could be 1 to 3 days of in-school suspension. Third offense, up to 3 days of out-of-school suspension and a behavior contract. And then subsequent offenses, that means 4 or more, could be following. We're going to follow what the behavior contract says, and it may be considered a refusal to obey. So once again, also, let's say that you are in violation of the electronic device policy and you choose not to follow instructions, meaning you got your cell phone, you got your AirPods, you've got your headphones, and we say turn it off and put it away, and you don't do that, it can be entered as a refusal to obey. Or if you have 4 or more cell phone violation referrals, that could be considered also refusal to obey. And again, those are suspendable offenses. Okay, could end up with ISS or OSS. Now, let's move on to some more academic things. First off, South Aiken, we want all of our students to graduate and go into one of the 4 E's. You've heard me say this before, and I'm going to say it again. The 4 E's. The first is employed in the career field of your choice. Where do you want to work at? Where do you want to go to make money? We want to help you with and get you the opportunity and get you the support needed to go into that workforce, to go into that career field so you can start that next phase of your life. Enrolled in a 2 or 4 year college or university of your choice. Do you want to go to Aiken Tech? Do you want to go to USC Aiken? Do you want to go to Duke? Do you want to University of South Carolina? Do you want to go to my alma mater, the Citadel? Do you want to go to any of those places? We want to help and support you in getting into and enrolling in one of those 2 or 4 year college or universities of your choice. Enlisting in the U.S. military branch of your service. Do you want to go in the military? Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force. Do you want to go into one of those branches of the military? We want to provide you with the support and advice necessary for you to get there. Or do you want to start your own business as an entrepreneur? Is there something that you have? Is there $1 million idea, or $100,000 idea, or $50 idea that you like, that you are passionate about, and you want to start your own business in that area? We want to help, again, give you the support and the guidance so you can be successful in those areas. So we want all of our students to graduate in 4 years in one of those 4 E's. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. None of these is more or less valuable than the other. We need people to go into the into the workforce. We need people to go to college. We need people to go into the military. We need people to start their own businesses. So if one of these fits you and others don't, do not feel like you are less than or more than anybody else because they've made a choice to be employed, enrolled, enlisted, or an entrepreneur. All 4 have value. All 4 are important. And all 4 can mean that you are a successful post-secondary South Aiken student. Okay? Now, we talked about the 4 E's: employed, enlisted, enrolled, entrepreneur. Now, how are some ways that we can help you get there? South Aiken is AP Academy. We offer 23 AP courses in English, math, science, social studies, world languages, computer science, music, and AP Capstone. Okay? So we have those avenues there. Then We also have the CATE completer pathways. What do we mean by that? Career and technology education. And I know my CATE teachers, I didn't edit the PowerPoint, so please don't come at me right now. Okay. CTE completers, career and technology education. We have 7 pathways available here at South Aiken, which include welding, culinary arts, general management, human resource management, accounting, marketing communication, and marketing management. And we are looking at initiating agricultural sciences. So that's something that we're looking to possibly add next year as well. And then there are also 18 pathways available through the Aiken County Career and Technology Center, the Career Center. And if you are interested in those programs, please see your counselor to inquire about attending the Career Center. Also, if you are going into one of the CTE pathways, we also want to make sure that you're getting a work-ready certificate, whether it be OSHA 10, an AWS certification, Pro Start, Serve Safe. We want to make sure you're getting a work-ready certificate so that you can go into the workforce and prove and have something that says, I am ready to go into the workforce. Now, also, for all of our students, we want to make sure all of our students are graduating or exiting South Aiken with a career and college readiness metric, and we have multiple opportunities for students to get that. What are some? We have the WIN Career Readiness Assessment, okay? That's the test that all of our third-year students take, and we want them to get a level 3 credential or above, showing that they are ready to go into the workforce. And we're putting together a list of employers in the area who will accept that WIN Career Readiness Assessment credential, saying that you are ready to go into the workforce. Or if, let's say, you sign up as a third-year student, you sign up for the SAT, we want to see you get a 1020 or above. We're going to offer work sessions for you to get preparation to take the SAT, to shoot for that 1020 or above. Or if you took if you signed up to take the ACT as a third-year student, we want to see you get that 20 plus on the ACT. And again, we've got opportunities for you to have experience success there, and we're going to have workshops for you for that as well. Or again, going into the workforce, or just trying to figure out what you want to do. We have the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, also known as the ASVAB. The bare minimum to get into the military, not even necessarily the bare minimum, the minimum to get that metric is a 31. So shooting for that 31. And if you want support on how to get that 31, we have that for you as well. Or let's say, again, going into the career force, we can work on a work-based learning opportunity. Do you have a job right now? Are you working at Wendy's? Are you working at McDonald's? Are you working at Kroger? Are you working at Publix? Are you working at Five Guys? Are you working at any of these places? Let's talk about how we can get you a work-based learning opportunity through that job that will, again, count you as a career and college-ready student. Advanced placement. Are you taking an AP course? We want to try and get you that 3 or above. Now, I know we've had this conversation before. A 2 is considered college-ready. But for that college and career and college-ready metric, we need a 3 or above there. Or are you taking dual enrollment? We need 6+ credit hours, 6+ credit hours with a C or above in English, math, science, social studies. And our goal as a school is to have 90% of our students graduate with the career and college readiness metric. 90% is our goal on this one. And any one of these counts. Now, if you are, let's say you're in your third year high school and you want to graduate next December, okay? Or you are in your third year high school and you want to graduate, or you're in your second year high school and you want to graduate at the end of your third year. We will not be able to say that you can graduate until you get one of these CCR metrics, one of these career and college readiness metrics. So once again, our goal is to have 90%, and we want to see all of our students graduating with that. And if you want to graduate early, we cannot sign off on that until you have a college and career readiness, a career and college readiness metric already under your belt. So once again, that's a level 3 on the WIN, a 1020 plus on the SAT, a 20 plus on the ACT, 31 plus on the ASVAB, 40 hours in work-based learning opportunity, 3 plus on one advanced placement assessment, or a C plus in 6 hours or more in English, math, science, and social studies dual enrollment. And once again, our goal for this is a 90% of all graduates. Now, we're talking about graduates and graduation. What are our graduate requirements? Everybody should be able to scream this out. How many credits are required for graduation? That is correct. The answer is 24, but it's got to be the right 24 credits. 4 math credits, including Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and another math course. 4 English credits, including English 1, English 2, and then you can branch off and go into other places. You can go into AP and some other things, but English 1, English 2 always start. 3 science credits, and it must include biology. 3 social studies credit, must include U.S. history, U.S. government, and economics. 1 PE or ROTC credit. 1 computer science credit. 1 world language or CTE elective. 1 personal finance credit. And then 6 elective credits. And just to go a little bit more in depth into that, that personal finance credit could be advanced personal finance. Entrepreneurship also counts as that personal finance credit. Those students of you all who are in fundamentals of computing, that is that computer science credit. And then again, those other required credits. And if when you're having those IGPs with your counselor, make sure you're asking those questions, discussing that you are on track for graduation. But speaking of which, on track for graduation is a measurement on our report card. So what does it take to be promoted from the one grade to the next? And again, we want to make sure our students are on track to graduate in 4 years. To go from the 9th to the 10th grade, you need to have you need to have 6 credits. And all those 6 credits, one must be a math credit, one must be an English credit, and then 4 other credit-bearing courses. If you're talking about going to the 11th grade, you must have a total of 12 credits to include 2 English, 2 math, and 8 other credit-bearing courses. And then to be considered a senior on track for graduation in 4 years, you must have 18 credits to include 3 Englishes, 3 maths, and 12 other credit-bearing courses. Vitally important that you know this and understand this. Once again, the on track for graduation is one of our South Aiken School report card metrics, and we want to make sure all of our students are progressing towards graduation. So at the end of their 4 years, they have all the courses. We want to make sure we're getting this done in 4 years. Now, what about grading? How about grading and some questions about that? This is our first year in this piece, okay? Meaning South Aiken, a summative assessment, meaning tests, major projects, count as 70% of your quarter grade, not semester, quarter. First 9 weeks, second 9 weeks, third 9 weeks, fourth 9 weeks. 70% of that grade comes from summative assessments, tests, major projects, things like that. 30% comes from your formative assessments, homework, classwork, all those things, and they count as 30%. Okay, so make sure we understand how that breaks down. But also know that South Aiken, we have a redo, retake policy, and it is outlined in your student handbook, which is in your agenda. If you make a 69 or below on a summative assessment, you have the opportunity to retake that assessment and earn up to a 70. Some teachers can go above and beyond that based on the courses, but 69 and below on a summative assessment, you have the opportunity to redo or retake that assessment, but only after tutoring, guidance, going to see that teacher during win time to improve your understanding so that you can do better on that second time around. Okay? You are responsible for working with that teacher and getting that redo, retake taken care of. But there's no excuse for you not to do well on those some of the assessments, especially when we have win time every day. And you can take that time to go see that teacher, get tutoring, get extra help to support you on that redo, retake. Now, if you have an unexcused absence, and this is the exception, if you have an unexcused absence, the teacher is not required to give you an opportunity to retake that assessment. Let me say that again. If you have an unexcused absence, you don't feel like getting up in the morning, you overslept, you cut school, you did this, whatever reason you have for not having an excuse for being in school, not being in school that day, the teacher is not required to give you an opportunity to redo or retake a summative assessment or any assessment. You miss school and there's a homework assignment due the day you miss, and you don't turn in a parent note or a doctor's note, the teacher is not required to accept that assignment. And if you miss school for any reason, field trip, doctor's appointment, skipping school, whatever, a zero is put in. That is not necessarily to say it's punishment, because we know there are viable excuses for you to miss school. But that zero is put in so you don't have a false sense of what your grade is. That's why that zero is put in, because if we don't put that zero in, and let's say you miss school for a doctor's appointment, and that grade is left blank, and then also we get to the end of the 9 weeks, and the teacher says, "Oh, little Sam Fuller didn't turn this assignment in. I need to put this zero in," and then you wonder, why do I have a zero all of a sudden? Why did my grade all of a sudden drop? That's why we put those zeros in immediately, so you know that that assignment is outstanding and needs to be turned in. But once again, if you have an unexcused absence, homework, classwork, quiz, test, teachers are not required to allow you to make up that work and to turn that in. Okay? So if you have a parent note, you have a doctor's note, you have to turn those things in order to be able to turn those assignments in. Okay? Now, also, failures due to absence. We need you all to attend school. Okay? We need you all to attend school. Failures due to absences will not be put in prior to, will not be put in prior to the end of the quarter or end of the 9 weeks. I mean, the end of the semester. Okay, so that's why we're emphasizing that unexcused absence policy. That zero goes in, and if you aren't there, the teacher is required to allow you to turn it in. So make sure we're attending school. Next up, win time. Make sure you are using win time properly. Remember, your teachers are available for the first half. Your math social teacher for the second half. Your English, science, and world language teachers. Use it properly. We talked about the redo retake policy. We talked about the 70% formative, 70% summative, 30% formative. Your grades are important, and we have time every day built in for you to improve your academic standing. So make sure you're using it properly. Now, going back to safety and security, door usage and IDs. Please, once again, do not prop open doors. IDs, you see me with mine on all the time. IDs are a safety measure. We've sent out the fee reports that shows how much money you owe if you have been not bringing your ID. I've turned you all around the lunch line. If you don't have your ID, you eat last at lunch. Doesn't matter the reason. Everybody was issued an ID. Everybody. Some of you have been issued more than once. You don't have your ID. You wait until the second half of lunch to get your lunch. Okay? Vaping. I had a box, but I left it, and we'll talk about this more. Okay? Vaping still is a problem here at South Aiken High School. Okay? It is dangerous for your health. It is harmful to you. There are addictive properties to it. Please, I beg of you, do not do it. We're asking for your help. We're asking for families' help. We're asking for legislators' help. We're asking for the city council's help. We're asking for help wherever we can get it. Please, please, please don't vape. It is harmful to you. Okay? It can and will hurt you. All right? So please, once again, please do not do it. We will also continue with our random security checks. We're making sure we're pulling out the weapons detectors, bringing the dogs in. Let me say this as clear as I can. Once you step on school property, you automatically, which means without you saying a word, you have consented to be searched. That is automatic. New Jersey versus TLO is a court case. Once you step on school grounds, you have consented to search. Don't bring anything on campus that will get you in trouble. Because once again, once you step on school grounds, you consent to search. Now we talk about response to fights. I've said this before and I say it again. The only acceptable response to a fight is to turn and walk away. That's the only acceptable response. If you do anything else other than turning your back to that fight and walking away, I can misinterpret your actions. And if I've got to guess, I'm going to err on the side of caution that you are standing there instigating, that you're standing there saying something, that you're standing there videotaping, that you're standing there doing something you're not supposed to do. So if you do anything else other than turn and walk away, I can misinterpret it. And if I've got a question, I'm going to err on the side of caution and make a decision based on that. Please don't get caught up in that. Okay? Please don't get caught up in that. Turn and walk away. Now, bullying. It is against the law. South Carolina Law 59-63-120 is the law, if you want to look it up, that talks about bullying. If you feel like you're experiencing bullying, do not wait until you can't take it anymore. Now, let's clarify what bullying is. I'm walking down the hallway and somebody says, I don't like you. And then they don't say anything else to me ever again. That is not bullying. Okay? Is it rude? Yes. Is it wrong? Yes. That is not bullying. Okay? Bullying is continuous and ongoing. So somebody sends me a text message. I don't like you. Then they sit next to me in class. You know what? So-and-so, I don't like you very much. You wearing ugly shoes. Then they say, you know what? Yeah, your shoes look terrible. Like, you need to buy some new shoes. Now we're in the realm of bullying. Okay? Continuous and ongoing. But don't wait till you can't take it anymore. Okay? We can have a conversation. We can do some things. So don't wait till you can't take it anymore. But everything is considered bullying. But if you've got a question about it, ask. Let us intervene. Don't try to fix it yourself. Okay? That's what a lot of times we get in trouble. People try to fix it themselves. Don't try to fix it yourself. All right? And we have a zero tolerance for bullying. Okay? Bullying is not acceptable. Bullying is not allowed. We have zero tolerance for it. It is against the law. If you have questions about it, please ask and let us intervene sooner rather than later. Now, let me also go back to this piece, and this kind of goes into the realm of bullying, and we're talking about response to fights. Let me clarify this again. And I said at the beginning of the year, and some people always have questions about this. Let's say Miss Schaefer, my assistant principal, goes to Mr. Rouse and says, Mr. Rouse, I don't like Mr. Fuller. So Miss Schaefer goes to Mr. Rouse and tells Mr. Rouse, I don't like Mr. Fuller. And if Mr. Rouse comes to me, Mr. Fuller, and I go and confront Miss Schaefer and we have an argument, fight, whatever, Mr. Rouse is going to get the same consequences as Miss Schaefer and I. Okay? That is called instigating, and they can get the same consequences, and we do provide the same consequences. Let's say, for an example, also, Mr. Rouse says, you know what? I hear that. So I hear that Mr. Fuller wants to fight me. He says that to Miss Schaefer. And Miss Schaefer comes to me and says, hey, Mr. Rouse heard that you want to fight him. And Mr. Rouse and I fight. That is instigating, and Miss Schaefer will get the same consequences. Okay? So I just want to clarify that piece with you all again. Now, as we go into as we start to wrap up a little bit, you all have a couple of e-learning assignments for today, and that you need to turn in. Okay, because again, January 6th is an e-learning day. The first is you have a quiz on this video, okay, and it's in Schoology. And you're going to take this quiz for each of your teachers. This quiz was your first e-learning assignment for each one of your teachers is a quiz on this video. You have to get a 90% on this quiz. I mean, you say that's not fair. You can review and retake the quiz as often as you need to. Rewatch the video, retake the quiz. It is open video, open notes, do whatever you need to do, but to get that 90%. Okay? The second requirement is you need to send an email to each of your teachers. Send one email to each of your teachers to show that you can communicate with your teachers. All right. So those are two of your e-learning assignments. Your instructors may have more, but these are your two e-learning assignments that are required that are going to be in every class. Okay. Now, semester 2, day 1 is tomorrow, January 7th. And you get your schedules distributed. You're going to report to homeroom first on January 7th and first on January 8th. So you're going to start the day in homeroom on both of those days. And please make sure you are asking questions about any policies or concerns that you have in homeroom. Ask questions. Okay, there's a lot that we've thrown at you. And if you have questions about or you need help on the quiz, ask questions. Now, our schedule for January 7th and 8th, once again, and I need to edit this. All right. You're going to go to homeroom first. Okay, you're going to go to homeroom first. And then you're going to go to first block and second block, then win time, third and fourth. And once again, let me edit that really quickly just to make sure that you are clear on this. Let me stop sharing that so I can make sure that we are clear on that. Give me 1 second. I apologize for that. Let's see. And I can't get that right just that quickly, so I won't hold you up. So let's get back to that slide. Once again, my apologies for that. All right, so once again, homeroom will be first block. I mean, homeroom is going to be homeroom instead of first block. Then first block, second block, win time, third block, and fourth block. All right, so we'll be in homeroom till 9 a.m. Okay. Now, once again, if you have questions or comments, please don't hesitate to ask. And I'll stop sharing my screen. And once again, those quizzes for this video will be in your Schoology. Please make sure you complete those as part of your e-learning for today. And then also, please make sure you send that email to your teachers as part of e-learning for today. I thank you so much for your time. And remember, as always, it's every thoroughbred, every day, all means all. Have a great day. Have a great second semester, South Aiken.